Wow. All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, January 6th. The first 6 days, 2021, are already behind us. Isn't that crazy? So, I mean, man, time is flying fast. So, we had a great bronze and above call last night, I believe. At least I think it was good. I don't know. But for those of you guys that bronze is on your radar, we got to get you there. In fact, this is I think it's this week. This week sounds like a good week to go bronze, right? So and moving forward towards setting our goals. So it is the beginning of the year. This is the first kind of huddle of the year as we're moving forward and setting our goals and moving in the direction of what it is that we're looking to go create. And I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about the process. I want to talk a little bit about the journey. And today I wanted to dive a little bit further into my story. And I don't go through this really as much as I'd like to, but I've been kind of reminiscing this about kind of my journey in network marketing and what I've been able to do, what's kind of happened for me. So I'm going to mute everybody here real quick, and then we'll pop into this. So I got to turn this feature on where it just kind of automatically let people in, but we create the waiting room. I got to remind myself to do that. I have that on my other Zooms. So, so yeah, today is going to be a little bit more of an intimate conversation. And because my experience and my journey through network marketing, I want to talk a little bit about it because, you know, it's, as the industry's evolved, as I've evolved, as we're moving forward, I think there's some things that I think are really important that some people might have been missing. Is just like retail has evolved, network marketing has evolved, and from when I first got started. And if I look back and if I look at all the things that I started learning in 2002, if I was to do those exact same things here today in 2021, I mean, there's probably a 0% likely chance that I would be successful in network marketing. Now, the skill sets that I learned, the people skills that I learned, the personal development that I learned, all of that is obviously not only 100% applicable. It's just as important, if not more important than today. Because technology has sped up so many things, a lot of people have forgotten the process. Normally, the process to build a network marketing business, when I first got started before technology, it was a slower process because there wasn't a way to communicate with so many people this quickly. So because of the lack of speed, you were developing yourself while you were developing your business. And a lot of times those things could kind of coincide with each other. Nowadays, you can speed up your process of building the business and learning techniques to be able to communicate and connect with more people online, but more importantly, attract people into your business. But I remember just kind of, you know, beating my head against the wall when, you know, over a period of time when, you know, people like, well, talk to more people. And I was like, I'm doing that and it is not working. I mean, I'm just like, it's just like, if you tell me one more time, you know, like, because I was like, that can't be the answer 100% of the time. And they were like, nope, that's the answer 100% of the time. That's your problem. Talk to more people. I was like, no, it's not. There's, you know, I feel like I'm using the wrong tool. I'm using the wrong piece of equipment for me to go out there and build my business. It's almost like I'm using an obsolete build. Now, if we were to build a house today, obviously I can use a screwdriver, but man, it's a lot harder than using a drill. So there are more effective tools that allow you to do a similar job, but have it to be less painful, as I would call it, through the process. And today, the systems that are so important for getting new people started and getting your business started properly and working with a team of people that has a lot of this laid out. Now, what I have found is you can go learn all these things and you can go create them. But I can tell you it's so much easier when you can just plug into something that's existing and becoming what we call more system dependent. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this and a little bit about my journey because some of you guys just don't really know. And I'm going to draw a little bit of it out for you guys here. So, and okay, my favorite little Elmo here. So let's move over here a bit. So here's a little bit about my journey and some of my numbers here when it came to getting started inside of network marketing. Okay. So I joined Seacret October 2011. Okay. This is my Seacret start. Okay. And in my first 90 days, okay, in my first 90 days, I recruited 60 people. Okay. I recruited 60 people personally. I did 100 what I would call in living room parties or / launches. And what I mean by launches, for those people I recruited, what I did was this. I said, hey, bring people over to your house, put them in a living room. We're going to come over and we're going to show them Seacret. Okay. Now, obviously this was 2011. This was really, it's kind of like a lot of before, this is 9 years ago, before the kind of social media build and the attraction marketing side of network marketing that's really happened over those last 9 years. But part of the reason is I was trying to figure out how to do Seacret, and I didn't know products and I didn't know how they worked. And what I realized is in order to figure out how to do something, you got to go do it 100 times. When you go do something 100 times, you learn a lot. And what I wasn't trying to do was create a lot of success. I was trying to figure it out. Okay. And so this ended up catapulting our momentum. My first year, I made over $260,000. Okay. So in Seacret, this is my year one. Okay. My second year was like 530 something. I don't know. It was over $500,000 in year two. Okay. So basically $1 million or $1 million in 30 months. Okay. This is insane, right? Now, this is a very sexy story, but that's not the beginning of the story. Okay. So I'm going to take you back to when the story actually started and what the process was like and how we ended up getting here. Right. So I'm going to come back to this because it's important. But my journey inside of network marketing actually started May 2002. May of 2002. I'm a 19-year-old kid. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm teaching hip hop dance classes. I'm making about $1,000 a month, struggling to pay rent. And I don't want to get a job. Like, I just don't want to get a job. Like, I'm like no, I won't do it. I don't want to do it. Like, I will eat top ramen and I will eat cereal every day out of a bag because it's really cheap if you buy the big bulk bags of cereal and then get a job. That was me. So 2002, I joined network marketing, and I think this is going to be the easiest thing in the world. I called my 2 for sures. They said no. I was like, oh man, this is kind of hard. So my first month, goose egg, right? So May 2002, so not so good. So June though, things got a little bit better in June, and I made no money. July though, breakthrough. 000. Like, this is not very. So again, my first 90 days inside of Seacret, I recruit 60 people. I make $1 billion. You know what I mean, right? But my first 90 days inside of network marketing, I'm a goose egg. Like, I'm a zero on someone's list. I'm one of the people that I have all these people and no one's doing anything. That's me. I'm that guy on your list, on your team. So. And quite frankly, it wasn't that I wasn't doing much. I was thinking about the business all the time, but I was doing it virtually none. But more importantly, I was trying to quit, but I had too much pride to tell my sponsor because, like, I just hate losing. So I felt like I was like giving up, but then I had already given up. But they kept charging my account every month for this stupid website service, and I was angry because I was so broke, but I didn't know how to call the company because I was so new and tell them to stop charging me. This is where I'm at. August 2002. I have a huge breakthrough in my business. I make no money. No. Now, honestly, I did have a big breakthrough. And the reason why is because August 2002 is when I went to my first big training. And they told me to go to this big Saturday training, right? And I show up to the Long Beach Convention Center. There's 1,500 people. And one of the guys training on stage was Muzaffar Nashvi. Crazy story. And it was my first training. I'm in the back. I'm wearing jeans and like cut off shirt. I didn't have any sleeves on it because I used to cut all the sleeves off my shirts. I don't know why. I think it was a dancer thing. Everybody's wearing a suit because it was a suit and tie company. It's a company called Prepaid Legal. And it's called Legal Shield today. And the guy training, they were amazing on stage. You know, it's like, if you've ever been to your first training and you're like, oh my God, right? And your first network marketing company, when you get in, it's kind of like your first love. It's like that high school love where you're like, we're going to be together and no one has ever experienced love like this ever in your life, right? It's like, no one has ever seen. It's like, we're getting married, and you're like, no, you're probably not, just in case you didn't know. But part of it is because what a lot of times people do is your first time getting in network marketing. A lot of times what people they associate the ability to start thinking of their dreams and their goals. They also associate, like I did, um, personal development, the things that you learn from being in your company to your company. When it's not actually the company, it's being in the industry, at least with a good company. All right. So when a good company that's out there that's really promoting personal growth and development and goal setting, and I remember getting just so excited. So I came back and I was like, okay, what do I do? So I went to my sponsor and they were new. So they were like, she's like, I don't know. It was like the blind leading the blind. Nobody knew what they were doing. Right. So I went to the next person. I was like, what are you doing? So I had to go like 14 people up or something. It was something crazy to find somebody that was actually making some money. And I mean, I found some people that were making like $500, but that's not what I was looking for. I was like, who's making money? Because like I got to figure out who's actually winning at this game. And so I went to this guy. His name was Tracy Thomas. He's a real estate agent, and he was probably, to me, he was like, I remember to me he was old, but he wasn't old at all. He was probably like 35, but I was 19. I mean, I was a child, right? So, but I remember thinking like, yeah, this grown up. So stupid. So anyway, I go to him and I was like, all right, what do I do? And he was like, have you launched your business? And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, have you had a grand opening? And I was like, well, what's a grand opening? He was like, when did you sign up? I was like, May. He was like, oh God. Right. Which is one of the things that I realized was that when there's a breakdown in communication in your business, what ends up happening is that people sign up people, sign up people, sign up people. And if there isn't a place for all those people to connect and plug into, a source, a structure, a system, what happens is people get lost in the sauce. And there's the law of diminishing intent and the law of diminishing return ends up taking place. But more importantly than that is new people introduce new people, don't know what to do with their new people. And if there's a place they can connect them to, a group, a Facebook, a team like Team Truth, hello, right, where you can plug them in to a structure and a system, then maybe I wouldn't have had the same experience in my first 4 months of being a goose egg, but more importantly, almost quitting the business. I think about it and I go, man, if I wouldn't have gone to that event in August 2002, where would my life be today? As I made more money in December than I used to make. I can't even do the math in how many years. I can't even, I'm pretty good at numbers, and it's unfathomable right now. So, but what I want you guys to understand is that's not where I started. When I started, they said, well, you have to have a grand opening. All right, fine. What do I do? They were like, well, how many people fit in your house? And I was like, you mean apartment? Like, I lived in West LA. I'm a broke hip hop dancer. I have this 1-bedroom apartment, right? And anyway, it was an apartment. I lived off National Boulevard, off the 10 freeway, right off the freeway, right? Where when you open your windows, it would just fill your house with dust, right? And so I don't even know how I slept with the freeway noise when I think about it today. But I guess when you're 17 and 18, it doesn't really matter that much. But so anyway, I start my business. How many people fit in your apartment? And I was like, I don't know, like 5, 6 people. And he was like, how many people fit standing up? I was like, I don't know, like 30. And he was like, okay, perfect. I want you to invite 120 people. And I was like, 120 people? I was like, well, what if they all show up? And he was like, they won't. And because he knew ratios. He knew about 1 out of 4 people that you invite will actually show. This is what he knew. And this is why it's so important to work with people who've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, because he knew that. Why? Because he'd done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these. Right. So, and he said it like so nonchalantly, like 1 out of 4. And then I was like, oh, okay. Because what he helped me do was manage my expectations. So I was like, okay, I'm inviting 120 people with the idea of 30 coming up. Now, here's what I thought. I thought if I didn't invite 120 people, he wasn't showing up. That's what I thought. That's what he made it feel like. He never said that. That was the feeling I had. So I was like, oh shit, I got to invite. Okay. All right. What am I going to do? I don't even know 120 people. Okay. So I'm inviting everybody in my college classes. I'm inviting everybody in my dance classes. I was like, that's not enough people. That's not enough people. I don't know. Well, I guess I'll invite my neighbors. Because in LA, you don't talk to your neighbors because that's like scary. All right. So there's like 30 apartments in my apartment complex. and I don't know anybody. So what I do is I start knocking on people's doors. I remember I went into Word and I created, remember Word art, you know, like with the, remember the like paperclip guy that would pop up and like give you hints from Word. Um, uh, and I made these little like cheesy, like Word art. And it was like business opening event. Jesse Macpherson, Saturday, it was, or Sunday at 6. I remember it was Sunday at 6 o'clock. And I printed them out. And I remember, and I'm like terrified. And I remember knocking on this guy's door, and I was like, oh no, and I was like, and he opens the door, and you know, and I'm like, hey, I'm Jesse. And of course he's trying to like, what are you trying to sell me, bro? And I'm like, I'm down in 4B. You know, you have a crappy apartment when it's a letter and a number in LA, just so you guys know. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, hey, so I'm doing this thing on Sunday, and I would like hand him this piece of paper, and I'm like, you know, launching this thing, and I'm like, I'm getting more and more awkward, and the more awkward I'm getting, the more awkward he's getting, you know, and it's just getting really weird. And I was like, so I don't know, I mean, I've lived here for a couple of years. Have you lived here for a long time? He's like, uh-huh. And I was like, so do you know anybody else in the complex? He's like, not really. And I was like, well, I'm going to invite other people. I don't know, maybe we actually meet other people in the apartment complex. Anyway, it could be cool. There's going to be chips. And he was like, chips? And I was like, yeah, it's chips, Sunday. You know, you should come if you're free, come. And he was like, okay. And that was it. Closed the door. And I was like, oh, right. Like I didn't die. Now, but what was interesting is like, that gave me confidence for the next door. Right. So the next door I knocked on, I was like, I had a little bit of like, you know, little swagger on me now. I was like, hey, my name's Jesse. I'm in 4B. I'm having this thing on Sunday. There's going to be chips. I went right to the chips. I was like, but then I started adding stuff. I was like, there's going to be chips and dip and soda. Do you like soda? You know? And I wish I was joking. This is a real story. This is how it happened for me. Oh my God. It's almost embarrassing. But people say, well, how did you create success in your business? And I'm like, chips. It was all about the chips. But it wasn't the chips. It had nothing to do with chips. I just needed one thing to hang on to go like, oh yeah, like this, like that one thing helped me. Now here's what's crazy. I shouldn't say nobody. 2 people from my apartment complex actually showed up. Okay. And one of them left early. Actually, before the presentation started. She walked in, she was like, oh, this is weird. And she left. The other person stayed and ate my chips and then left. So he was like, chips were good. But the reason why I'm sharing this story is this is where it started for me. So this is the beginning of my journey. Is I was so terrified. Now I had 28 people show up to my living room because I invited like 130 people. Now here's what's crazy. The majority of people who said they were going to show up still didn't show up. The people that showed up the most, honestly, the people that showed up the most were the people that basically said, listen, I told people, it's like, hey, bring somebody with you. Now, this was the beginning of my network marketing career, and I'm kind of going back here so you guys can see this. Actually, I might even be able to pull this up. I don't even know. It's possible. Let me see if, do I have this open? Maybe. Oh, I do. Oh, you guys want to see something funny? So here's a classic for you. Some of you guys, I think, have seen this before. So, remember how I said I grew up as a dancer, right? So this is me when I was 12 years old, when my first dance company that I joined. So, and then I moved to LA and I started dancing. I got to find a picture of my apartment from the outside so you guys can see, but this is one of the dance companies that I was running. This is a picture, the top left of that meeting. The top left is the picture of the meeting. And in the back, you guys see the chips in the back? Like I told you, there was chips. So they're in the back there. Now here's what's crazy about this. This picture was after the majority of people left. These were most of the people that were part of those dance companies. Right. So, and I took this picture. Now the girl on the left, the far left in the black, told everybody that was there after she left that it was a scam and shouldn't join me, just so you guys know. The person on the far right ended up joining a week later after doing some research. A couple of other people ended up, the guy, Jay Chris, who actually ran the dance company, still runs a dance company, owns a dance studio now in LA, ran it. The guy in the back in the gray shirt didn't come to the party. He lived down the street from me and refused to come. He came after to eat my food. So didn't even show up. But this was the beginning of where it started for me. Now, why is this really significant? This doesn't have anything to do. Now, what I used to do is this. Okay. It was really easy for me to teach people the process of getting started inside of network marketing because I taught people what I did. So when you get started, what do you want to do? You want to have a grand opening. You want to launch your business. You want to build your business properly. So what I started doing was I started teaching people some of these principles when it came to building out your business. So September 2002, I made a little over $1,000 from launching my business and getting in and doing presentations and getting into people's living rooms, right? Today, obviously, that's just not how we build. Okay. So now there were a lot of the strategies that were simple back then that I understood, but my first year in network marketing, so the next few months I made like $200 and whatever. So I finished out 2002. I think I made a total of like $2,200 total. Okay. And 1,000 of that was my first month from my launch. And then after that, it went down again to a couple $100, right? So then 2003, the next year, I remember my 1099 was just over 15,000. 2004, my 1099 was 30,000. 2005, my 1099 was 39,000. Okay. 2005. And then 2006, my 1099 was $120,000. So, and since then it's never been less than $100,000. And then it was $150,000. And I got stuck in that $100,000 range. I know, cry for me. But no, seriously, in Southern California, even if you have $100,000, you still need a roommate. So, and then I ended up finding Seacret. Now, I want to tell you just kind of a little bit about this. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go through a little bit more about this process because as things has evolved, our business has evolved. Okay. So, and I want to tell you guys a little bit about where I've had some of my own struggles and some of my own challenges inside of the business when looking at the business in a different light. So I got stuck in that range. Now, my first company, I was Mr. Prepaid Legal. Like that's who I was. Like it was not something I did. It was like who I was. So my entire identity was wrapped up in the sucker. And, and even though we got stuck and I just remember, I felt like I was just hitting my head against this wall. And in 2011, the company sold to a private equity firm out of New York City. And my upline ended up leaving the company. And he ended up co-founding a new company with one of the top marketing guys that worked at corporate. And they launched a company in 2011 and I was devastated. I didn't know what to do. And I had spent 9 years building this business and I was still making some pretty good money, but I was watching it decline very, very quickly. The other challenges is I felt like the strategies that I was being taught, I was like, it doesn't seem to be working. Here's the problem. When working isn't working, you must change your approach. You guys understand that, right? So when people say, well, just work harder, that can't be the answer. I'm sorry. Like it can't, right? They tell us to work smarter, not harder. That's why we do network marketing, right? So when you're in the business and you're working and it's not working, working harder can't be the answer. You got to find a way to work smarter. So what we're doing is you don't change the goal, you change the approach. Right? The goal doesn't shift. What is the goal? Freedom. If the goal is freedom, then what you're going to do is you're going to go out there and plan, do, review. Now, there are certain things where there is a time frame where you have to do them long enough for them to kick in. Like you don't eat today from the seeds you planted yesterday. That's not how it works. However, right? So if I taught you what I was taught to do in August of 2002, today inside of Seacret, you would fail. You would fail. Period. End of conversation. This isn't a conversation of the old way of network marketing or the new way of network marketing. It has nothing to do with old or new. It has nothing to do with offline, online. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with It's not 2002, right? That's what it has to do with, right? Today, things are different. You know what happened a long time ago? People used to leave their house to get information. That was common. You guys remember? If you wanted to buy something, what did you do? Leave your house. If you wanted to meet somebody, what did you do? Leave your house. You wanted to go hear a speaker. You wanted to go get educated on something. What did you do? You left your house. Is that common today? No, you don't need to go anywhere to do any of those things anymore, right? So everybody got Amazoned out, right? Like the fact that you can order batteries on your phone and have them delivered to your house within hours is almost sick, right? So, but it's changed. It's not that people's behavior has changed. It's the way that we connect and the way that we build has changed. Now, why is this significant for all of us? We have to evolve and we have to adapt. Now, there are certain time tested principles. What I taught about resilience, what I was taught about leadership, what I was taught about communication, what I was taught about personal growth, think and grow rich, what I was taught about the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, developing the leaders around you. What all of that I was taught about personalities and psychology and communication skills, all of that is just as applicable, if not more applicable today, because a lot of people don't realize how important the development skills are, not just the business building skills. So, but what I noticed inside of the business is I decided to make a transition to Seacret. Now, why did I transition to Seacret? And I want to talk to you guys just shortly about this, and we'll wrap this call up in 2011, because obviously you knew what happened when I came into Seacret in October 2011. Okay. I understood the concept of a 90-day run, but I also understood the concept when it came to how to go out there and build a run in creating your story. At any moment in time, you can create your 90-day story, and your 90-day story is going to go with you forever. Now, let's say you've been in Seacret for a while. You're just getting started in Seacret. You can recreate your story from January 2021 right now for the next 90 days. And somebody can say, well, I've been in Seacret for a period of time, or a year or 2 years or whatever it is. And say, well, listen, if you haven't been actively doing the business, you've really just been a customer. So what I call you is like a wholesale customer. Because isn't that what you are? Like, think about Costco. What do? You pay an annual membership fee and you get products at discount, right? Isn't that what you do as an agent? So I don't want you to think because you've owned a gym membership, you're a gym goer. Right? You wouldn't say that. You wouldn't say that to yourself. You wouldn't be embarrassed. You wouldn't be like, like if I was talking to my friend Whitney and I was like, hey, Whitney, so yeah, man, I mean, I've been in the gym for 2 years. Just, I just haven't been in shape as much as I really want to be in shape, but I'm, I think you could get in shape, going to if you sign up in the gym with me. No, just because I've owned the membership doesn't mean I've been building it. So now what does that mean inside of our business? You can create your story in any 90-day time frame where you can go out there and go crazy with this thing. And what that looks like is very simple. So I think we have a leadership call starting here in a few minutes. I'll wrap up this story here, and then we'll get our leadership call started here in a few, just so you guys know. But why this is significant and why this transition happened for me as I was making my migration over here is your 90-day story that you can create and you can recreate at any moment in time can start from now. I can say, well, listen, prior to January, I was a customer of Seacret. I was using the products. I was dabbling around in it. I was learning and I was participating. And then in January, I decided to get Seacret serious. And in the last 90 days, here's what's happened for me. I've gotten 2 promotions. I've gotten a rank advancement. I've gotten this. I've earned an iPad. I've earned this. I've earned that. And you can create your 90-day story. So you can recreate your 90-day story whenever you'd like. But when I came to Seacret, I knew that it was time. And you don't leave 6 figures to go make 6 figures. You leave 6 to go make 7. And that's what I did. Now, it was one of the scariest decisions I ever made in my life. At that point in my time, by far the scariest personal decision, scariest business financial decision I'd ever made in my life, because I was literally walking away from a 6-figure income I'd built for 9 years and going to 0. And I had a conflict of interest, so there was no transition. I was going to resign my book of business and come over to Seacret because I felt like for me, that was the right thing to do at that time of my life. And I was terrified. I was transitioning from a service-based company to a product-based company. And I was the guy for 9 years on stage that talked about how products were stupid. So that was even more difficult. But what happened was through that transition, Here's one of the biggest things that really changed the way that I looked at it is I started evaluating the business from a different perspective. When most people get into network marketing, they don't pick a company finds them. So what happens? Somebody introduces you and you learn about it and you go, wow. And most people are comparing network marketing to a 9 to 5 or a traditional business. And if somebody is good at sharing with you the potential value and the opportunity of this amazing business model and they're equipped to do it well, there's zero chance that traditional employment or self-employed businesses will win in that conversation. It doesn't matter the network marketing company. It's the business model that is unbelievably appealing if it's done correctly. So what does that mean? Okay. That means that most people are comparing. Most people are going, whoa, hold up. I'm about to get into network marketing. Let me go research every company, compensation, timing, leadership, systems, delivery, expansion, global, like all those different elements, because you don't even know to actually look at all those different elements. Now, here's what's so exciting. Those of you that Seacret is your first company, I mean, God bless you. But also, somebody like Donna's like, so, but also it's kind of like, it's like the kid who gets, like born into the house with a Rolls Royce and you don't even know how good you got it, So I had somebody complaining today about something in our back office, and I was like, this is your first company, isn't it? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, I almost wanted to say like, listen, go, I want to send you into other companies for a year and then come back to us. And then you're going to be like, oh my God, thank God. But the reason why I'm bringing it up was through this transition, what I was looking for is I was evaluating the business from a different standpoint and a different perspective. And what I was looking for is I was looking for some different things. And what I was looking for was replication, duplication, and systems that were working in today's times, number one. But the other thing that I was really looking at as evaluating is where I was going to be spending my time and the reasons I was building the business. So why are you building Seacret? What is the goal? What is the result that you're looking for in your life and in your business? And if you're looking for the result to go out there and create success in your business and in your life, then what that requires is it requires a plan to be able to do it. So when I was asking, if I was asking Lisa, why are you doing Seacret? If Lisa says, well, I love the products. And I was like, well, you can be just a customer. A company having a good product is not a good enough reason to build their business. It's a good enough reason customer. The reason to build the business is going to be different. Now, if you're just doing it as a hobbyist, that might be a little bit different. But most of you, if you're looking for an income, I ask you why. Most people, if I boil it down, it's for some kind of financial or time freedom. All right, to be able to do things. So if the end result of building the business, I call it the Starbucks Jamba Juice analogy. So I want you to think about this and write this down. Starbucks and Jamba Juice. Actually, I'm going to pick on you, Whitney. Can you unmute real quick? So,
Sure.
so Whitney, kind of give you an example here. So let's say you had to take a job and your choice was Starbucks or Jamba Juice. Which would you choose?
Jamba Juice.
Jamba Juice. Why?
Because I like smoothies.
Like smoothies. I love smoothies too. That's what I would choose. I would choose Jamba Juice, right? So, all right. So I love the acai super antioxidant, is one of my favorites, right? So I like Jamba Juice. Now, would you agree with me though, Whitney, that both of those jobs are pretty similar? Like if you work at Starbucks or Jamba Juice, like you go into a store, pretty much same size, you stand behind a counter, people come up to you, they order things, you put them in cups, and there's some food things you can buy in a glass container, right? Like that's a pretty similar job, all right? So different product, similar job. Now, if Jamba Juice was going to pay you $10 an hour and Starbucks was going to pay you $50 an hour, where would you work?
I'd pick Starbucks.
What?
Even though I don't drink coffee.
Whitney, how dare you, But I thought you loved Jamba Juice. You know what I mean? Isn't it weird how fast you change, Now, here's the thing. What's so funny is I've done that question hundreds of times. And only one person ever asked me, well, what's the pay? Most people immediately always think first about what place do I like better? Okay. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with Starbucks or Jamba Juice. The thing is Starbucks is going to get you towards your goals in life that are more important to you than Jamba Juice. Because your kids are more important than Jamba Juice. They are. At least they should be. I'm saying a Jamba Juice because I don't like my kids that much. No. So, but when it comes to the transition, why is this important? Just because you work at Starbucks doesn't mean that on your break, you might not go over to Jamba Juice and get a smoothie on your lunch break and be a customer of Jamba Juice because you love smoothies. Loving smoothies, not great, but you're choosing it because you're getting paid 5 times as much for the same time invested. So when I was looking at the business, I was like, where am I going to be able to align myself that has the best possible chance for me to get the future that I'm looking for? And that's one of the reasons why, when I was evaluating Seacret, it checked off the things that I didn't even know. But after 9 years of experience and earning $1 million in network marketing, why are people, we just signed up somebody inside of Seacret that's earned $25 million in network marketing. You want to know, and here's what's crazy. He's earned $25 million in network marketing. Here's a crazy story. He was the guy that taught me network marketing in my first company. Remember when I said my upline left and co-founded a company? That's the guy. He went on to make $25 million and he just joined Seacret. Why did he join Seacret when he could do anything? He could start a company. He can own a company. He got offers to start companies and own companies. Why would he come align himself with Seacret? Because there's something special here in terms of systems, products, culture, that a lot of people, maybe they have one thing that they do really well. They have one thing they do really well. But to have the complete package with the organization, the system, the training, and in today's times with a relevant program and systems, that's what this is about. So anyway, I hope that makes sense. I appreciate you guys. What I'm going to do is this is we have a leadership call that got extended over here a little bit. So I'm actually going to close this call out. If you're a part of our leadership call, just log back in after I'm going to close this call out. And I hope you enjoyed our huddle. I'm going to be on our social networking professionals group here today. Inside of that group, doing some training on setting up your new year. And we're going to go through a 4-week process on Wednesdays in there. And I love you guys. Let's make this year the best year ever. But more importantly, it's time for you to create your story, your 90-day story. Let's do it now. And we'll see you guys on the next training.